All right, joining us now officially is Dr. Alex Harrison to talk with us about some new research that shows the stress hormone cortisol can be found in the hair and what that means for our heart health. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning. Yeah, researchers and doctors have suspected for quite a while that stress definitely plays a role in your risk of heart attack and heart disease. And various studies have shown that very stressful events can precipitate these events.
Right.
But nobody's known that chronic long-term stress can be a risk factor for heart attack. It's been suspected but never proven until recently. A study that was just published analyzed cortisol, which is a stress hormone, in hair samples. And cortisol's been measured in the blood and in urine in the past to show that cortisol levels are elevated acutely, but long-term, a hair grows about a centimeter per month. And so they analyzed 3 centimeters, getting an average cortisol level over a 3-month span in over 50 people that came in with a heart attack to the hospital. And they analyzed similar 50 people who came into the hospital for non-cardiac reasons. And they found that the cortisol levels in the hair samples of the people who had a heart attack was substantially higher.
Really?
So basically, stress has been speculated to be a significant factor and risk factor for heart attack and strokes, and it's been proven. Actually, there was an interesting study in the New England Journal about 4 years ago after the World Cup in Germany. And they looked at, because Germany has a nationalized healthcare system, they looked at all of the heart-related hospitalizations during the World Cup month and compared it to
stress. Yeah.
And Germany was the host nation. They only came in third that year. They lost in the semifinal game. They found that the incidence of events were substantially higher during the World Cup, particularly in the hours during Germany.
The loss.
Wow. And so it's been known that very stressful events can precipitate cardiac events. This is the first study to suggest that long-term stressful situations may be problematic to your health and precipitate cardiac events.
Now, we know that it's kind of early on in the research, but I was kind of curious when I was reading through the article as well. Is this something, they have to test your blood or urine at this point, but eventually just one strand of your hair and that's all it would take to test those levels? Is that kind of, how do they actually do
blood
the
and
test?
urine can test your cortisol levels during your setting right now and maybe for a 24-hour period. But the hair samples, like I said, it grows a centimeter a month, so a 3-centimeter hair sample can assess a 3-month average cortisol level. And it's very labor intensive, so it's very far away from being checked as a routine evaluation of somebody's risk, like we do with blood pressure and cholesterol and blood sugar for diabetes and so forth. And it's unclear whether testing it is going to be beneficial because it's not known whether stress-reducing measures are effective in reducing cortisol levels. But it's a preliminary finding confirming what has been speculated, that stress does play a role. And perhaps in the future, if stress-reducing measures are proven effective and the means of analyzing a hair sample are a little more easily obtained and cost-effective, then it could be something that is used down the line. And even if it isn't something we can reduce, perhaps knowing somebody who's at higher risk can help us treat other factors more aggressively, such as their cholesterol and diabetes. And
Sarah, way down
pressures.
here at the end, I think you have, when you first started here at KCOY, this would be your, right?
My hair, yes. I actually chopped it off a couple of years ago, so I wonder how much stress is going on
over time. Now, is cortisol released in both positive and negative situations?
Cortisol is a beneficial hormone. It's designed, it's released by the brain through the pituitary, sends a signal to the adrenal glands, which are your organs just on top of your kidneys, to produce cortisol, and it's a part of your fight or flight mechanism. So it's a beneficial effect in the acute setting. When you have a very stressful event, it helps the body to adapt to that situation.
But when you're releasing it and just sitting there, then it can
right
have
over
these-
chronic high levels can be problematic. As the graphic showed earlier,
Yeah.
it increases blood pressure, blood sugar, increases your body's clotting factors, all which over time can cause risk of heart attack and other cardiovascular complications such as stroke.
Dr.
Try
Harrison.
to take it easy, don't
Don't-
let things upset
Yeah.
you too much. Relax.
right.
And if you have something bothering you and you want to know about it, you can email Dr. Harrison very easily, morningrounds@kcoy.com. As always, Doctor, thank you so much for being here.
My
And
pleasure.
with